Hi everyone, do you know RIP version 1 also supports variable length subnet mask in a special case? Yes, you heard it right. But before we learn that RIP version 1 doesn't support VLSM, let's understand how. Hello everyone, my name is Varsha and in today's lecture we'll see how RIP version 1 also supports VLSM in a special case. So let's understand what is that special case. So RIP version 1 supports VLSM as long as we are using consistent subnet mask throughout the network, else not. Now what does this mean? When we are talking about the consistent subnet mask, as you can see here in this topology, let's understand from this example one. So we have this topology here, it is subnetted via /26 /26 /26 and we have different networks. Now when we come here, as you can see it is /25, right? So this is an inconsistent it is an inconsistency throughout the network. So you understood what is inconsistency. Now there is a question, how does let's suppose R2 knows whether the upcoming network is a subnet network or a normal network? For that, it heavily relies on its own subnet mask. So what does basically do is, when we talk about RIP version 1, what we do is we take our own configured interface of our subnet and we perform the AND operation with the incoming IP address. It can be anything. It can be our network address, it can be our subnet. Okay. So what we will do is, to identify, we will AND with our own configured fast Ethernet, let's suppose this 0/0 mask and the upcoming one. So in this case, if we see /26, so the network to be sent via RIP is 172.16.10.0. Then we have, let's suppose this was 10.12, 10.128 network, 10.64 network, right? But here, as it was /26, okay, but here as it is /25, so the number of bits that we are borrowing is just one. So for this, then the coming network will be only two, that is our 0 and 128. So this is an inconsistency. So this is the reason why it will summarize the network boundaries, and the only network that will receive is this original one, 172 uh 172.16.0.0. This is what we will receive, as it is the original one, the major network. So in this, here it will fail, right? Now if we see in the example number 2, as we can see, we have this particular network and still here it is inconsistency in the subnet mask bit, because it's not, here it is consistent but here it's not. Okay, so what basically here will happen, if we talk about R3, so it is advertising network 172.16.10.0, this one, and then 10.64, 10.128 and 10.192. But when we check in our R4 what it has received, it will only say that I have received 192 or 172.16.0.0, because we will receive the summarized network boundaries and the major network is our 172.16.0.0, right? So here also it will not work. But in the example number 3, if we see here, here consistency is here, right? The subnet is symmetrical. as you can see, slash 26 slash 26 slash 26 and slash 26. So when we talk about this, it will receive all the networks 172.16.10.0, 172.16.10.64, 172.10.128. But when we talk about here, right, here we will see that it will give us the summarized one, right? So this was the example. This all concluded by when we want to conclude it whole. So RIP version 1 only supports VLSM as long as we are giving consistent subnet mask throughout the network, right? Else not. So because the we are missing the subnet field in RIP version 1 that we has in our RIP version 2. So this was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.